Hello everyone, welcome to the behind the scenes for Seisei Academy, the video, and this is pretty much just going to be a video and I'm just going to talk over and kind of explain what's going on. So here we have my iconic course party name tag list that I made a long time ago while playing the game. And again, I'm just watching this video with you and pretty much commentating. I think that's the best way this is going to be possible. Here we have the script. I pretty much copied the script from an old script that I have for Course Party, but as you can see here, I pretty much take the name tag list and put it onto a script, and I just verify everything. I verify from the name tag list I made a long time ago. I also verify it from the wiki, because it seems to, I don't try to rely on the wiki as much, but the wiki does have accurate names and ages and classrooms, in classes and the location that they died. So I have all that laid down in the script, and I watched my old video here. This one's specific for Seisei because it's my first course party video, and I was referencing it, seeing what I wrote, getting an idea of the timeline, refreshing my memory on everything. We're going through my files. Make sure to keep organized. I learned that way too late. This is still not organized. It's organized now, but when I was editing the Seisei video, this one, it was still a mess. So here we have my old assets that I used for my first video, and I still had that. So I'm referencing that. I'm looking at the fact checking pretty much, seeing what they said about, I believe this is Asuka. Yeah, it is. Pretty much just verifying what's going on, where it's located, classroom 5A, for example, screenshot of the actual game name tag list. And I watched my video, and here's where I had an idea where, again, I'm watching this video to start getting ideas because I have nothing written on the script. That top portion is nothing, but I found out that Ryoko and Koito Fujiwara are sisters. So I thought that'd be a pretty cool angle to go with in this video, especially in the beginning, to like kind of catch the attention, because I am trying to do like storytelling with these new series of course party videos. So again, here I'm just looking at the wiki, got some weird ads. But yeah, we're zooming past this. I pretty much verify everything just in case. I do that a lot because I don't want to get anything wrong, because then I'm not going to stop hearing about it like ever. Right there, I'm placing the location, making sure it's building 1F East Hall, and then I just start typing what the note says, which is my head is splitting, it's unbearable, I can't take it, I can't take it, I can't take it. When we find Yuzu has body, I saw a black shadow, etc. It skips forward. Here's a nicer version. So here we already have kind of a template for the video where it's a quick fade in, because quick, you got to get people attentive in the first 3 seconds according to YouTube. And I want to start with a scream because I thought that'd be kind of funny. You kind of just get jump scared in the beginning. And then we add sound effects, cut to bludgeoning red screen. I already have the ideas going on. Here we skip forward. I color code a lot of things, especially for like the voice actors for Koito and Ryoko and Asuka and all that. And what do we got here? So pretty much the framework for my script is just the dialogue that I know is already going to be there, which is the dialogue from the game. And then this is where I start scripting what I'm going to say, which is honestly the hardest part, because it's just hard. I am an English major. I'm literally about to get my degree, but it's still hard to write for YouTube. It's very weird. So here, if we listen, we can hear the voice actor's voice. I'm just going to let it play it out. So here I got a clip from the voice actor, and I thought it needed some reverb reduction. So I added a filter on Audition. Same thing with this one. Just reverb, light reverb reduction. It didn't need that much work. It was just the reverb.
Come join us. You're an idiot, Koito. If you don't believe with all your heart, then we'll never get rescued.
Pretty much listen to it until I'm happy with it. Lower the volumes. Export them again. And then here we go. We skip forward. So now we're trying to create the scene. So I'm looking at my script. It's a little more complex now. I actually added a bunch of stuff that I skipped. So you can see on the right, that's pretty much my overall course party resources on the right, and on the left is just for the project. So I started keeping separate tabs. That way, if I ever want to open up this project file, I have everything all in one folder, which is my project file. Because you'll see later on in the video where I open up an old timeline and I lost everything. Everything's all over the place and I can't find everything. So I decided to start keeping track this way, and it helps a lot, especially with my real job. Here we have sprites that my friend John made on our Discord. His name is Tomato Soup, Ketchup, Tomato Soup, whatever. I'll put it on the screen. Sorry, John. But he made this sprites from the kindness of his heart, literally just because he loves Course Party. And I asked him, hey, can I use these in my video? And he said, yeah. And that was actually amazing of him. So you can see here, I'm trying to pretty much get the idea of how this is going to play out. So I'm messing with the text boxes. I have a bunch of resources. You can get them online. There's a website. That's where I got all mine. And I'm noticing, hey, okay, there's a text, there's the text box, there's everything. I'm like, okay, this is too messy. I feel like I've done it a different way before when I was working on my Byakudan senior high. And I'm like, okay, this is too messy. So what I ended up doing is just going back to my mess of a computer. And I actually found an old After Effects file for the text for Byakudan. So I was like, okay, I'll just reuse this After Effects file and I'll obviously make a new file for it. But this is how I'm going to start making my text. You see how it flows well from left to right with no animation having to do on my part. It's pretty much just automatic. So here's me testing the sizes and how long the text could be. Koito, please no. You know, adding like a drop shadow. And here we have the finished product. My monitor's on the right side, so you can't see it in this video because whatever. But pretty much I'm finished. I export it V2, render it, and I add it onto Premiere. So you see how it's not cluttered anymore. It's already animated. It's perfect. It's beautiful. And yeah, I'm happy with it. So here we just skip forward. Again, Course Party resources, a bunch of sound effects because I am going to use sound effects in that video. So I start categorizing them because they weren't categorized. I didn't end up finishing. But I also have a subscription to Motion Array for my job. So I needed stomach growling sounds. So I decided just to do that. And I was like, okay, good enough. So I just pretty much implement it. Let's see if we could hear it. That's me just... Oh, okay, so I also decided to do footsteps, and that's the bottom layer right there that I'm messing around with. The channel volume, you'll hear right now, I'm pretty much making it sound 3D. You hear that? Hear it again. I'm making it sound from like the footsteps from left to center. So that's how I do that. I try to do that a lot because I think it's really nice for people who use headphones. Like, oh, the audio is actually 3D, just like the game. Coming from left to the center. I do that with the screams too. So here's me figuring out the ID tags. I saw a picture of Mayu's ID tag and I was like, oh, I'll just replicate it because I kind of wanted to do something different where we start with the ID tag and then it ends with the cause of death. So here I started doing the ID tags, making it look nice, figuring out the colors, referencing Mayu's student ID tag, figuring out the sizes, the font, the placement. Something fun that I decided to do because we're not going to have pictures for all the Seisei students, or for example, for all the Seisei students, like the faculty, we don't have artwork for them. So I was like, okay, like let's just take a scrap from the Sachiko Ever After Charm and let's just say that they put it in their ID tag so it covers your face. And I was like, that's good enough for me. So now we place it in Premiere, and I was trying to do this thing where I animate it. It comes from left to right, and that wasn't working. So I just decided to play with the rotation. And honestly, this was all luck. I'm not an animator. It's usually just luck for me, and patience. And it ended up coming out pretty good, where I just animated rotation slightly and landing it, and then I just added a sound effect later on, and it looks like that. And I thought it was pretty neat. So that's what I used. Oh boy, here we have my old timeline It is terrible. You see, that's why I start keeping organized. But I just thought it'd be neat to show you like my old timeline for, I think this is, I don't even know what video this is. Okay, so here we have a different aspect ratio. I'm using 2:1 in this new series because it fits better on the screen, and I thought it was more cinematic. So here I'm animating the new zoom out and from left to right, the chalkboard. So just so I could have my numbers and make everything consistent throughout the video, and that way I could just copy and paste it what I need. We're back in After Effects, and here's where I animate the names and the class, the age, the sex. The names I decided not to animate. That was too much work, so I just faded it in. But everything else is pretty much preset animated. You can see like the orange lines there. That pretty much makes it look like it's being written out. And you just go one by one. So it could appear, and I do that for all the characters. Their class, their age, their sex, and what chapter they're located in. Referencing the script. And pretty much do that for all the characters, and I just verify that I got the information correct. I put the template of the chalkboard in the background, but I'm gonna delete that when I export it. That way I could only, the only thing that is exported is the text. So that's why I'm deleting it. I pretty much export all of them, and then I add them onto Premiere and then just overlay them because the chalkboard's already there. I just used it for reference. Here we have, I just thought it'd be neat. I think I saw it in one of the games, probably the first one when there's a flashback, like where they're located, what time of day it was. And I was like, okay, that's a good establishing shot without establishing a shot. So that's why I used that. Here's more text animation for Asuka. I think this is where I'm working on her scene now, and then I export the text, pretty much put it into Premiere, and then start playing with it, seeing what I like, exporting the rest of the text, or animating the text, and then exporting it, and then putting it into Premiere. I'm not really good at After Effects, but I really enjoy learning, and I've been learning how to use After Effects thanks to this series, so it's great. Here we can see on the bottom right, I'm referencing the game because she gets hit. Asuka gets hit in the skull by Yoshikazu. So I'm referencing the game on how like the lights flash. And instead of just animating it myself, I was like, okay, I'll just cut it from the game and I'll paste it onto my timeline. So that's what I'm doing here while I'm animating the sound. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, no. So I'm playing around with the sounds. I do that with the sounds. I pretty much look at the game, take out the sounds, put it into my project file, and then I do the same thing with the visuals. So here, there's like a white flash. And again, this is literally just the game. I just took it from the game. I put it on mine. I was like, okay, I'm using it. And you can see there, it's like, boop. So I cut it. I cut the wrong one. I'll fix it right now. Come on, Corpsey. All right, there we go. So that's how it looks. That's literally just from the game. And here's my scene.
I'm in classroom 5A. Everybody's fine. Yusuha, come join us. You're an idiot, Koito. If you don't believe with all your heart, then we'll never get rescued. I thought we were friends.
That's my scene, and it's good motivation to just watch what I worked on and be proud of it, and it keeps me motivated. It's like, oh, I did that. That's crazy. Like, again, always double checking, referencing the script, referencing if everything's accurate. I decided that the blood from the game, again, because that image is from the game, I was like, that's pretty low res. So I tried finding the blood in my resources, and it's HD, it's higher quality. So I was like, okay, for this one, I will animate it. So pretty much I just put the image on top of it and made it red. So that's how I did the blood. Here you can see me again for motivation's sake. I cut the scene and I uploaded it on my drive so I could send it to the voice actor and be like, hey, look what we're making. It's fun. It's nice. Let's stay motivated. It keeps me motivated, like sharing a little piece of a scene that took me like 4 hours to make. Let's see what we have here. Okay, yeah. So this one is kind of difficult to explain. Pretty much, I have footage of the game where a body is there, Sasha's body. And in the maps that I have for the resources, she's not there. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do? So I pretty much got sprites from the game, and I just found the body that most accurately represented Sasha. And I was like, oh, fine, I'll do it myself. So that's what I'm doing here. I have the image of the map, and now I have a corpse right here, and I pretty much just place it where it is in the game. That way I could get a high quality image. And here I'm trying to find the note that she has. I could not find it. I spent like 20 straight minutes looking at these. Couldn't find it. I said, screw it. I'll just use this little piece of note. I don't know where it's from. But sometimes there's like a note that's ripped up, and sometimes there's a note that's together. I just decided, screw it. I found a note. I'll take it. No one's going to notice. Like, it doesn't have to be that accurate, you know? Same thing happened with this one, where it's a map from chapter 5, but they only have it in chapter 3 and the resources, so I had to pretty much recreate it myself. I'm using the reference image on the left from the game that I took a long time ago, probably when I was like 19. And then here's me putting it into Premiere and then seeing how it looks by animating it. See how it looks. And voila, no one's the wiser. No one knows I edited that, but I did. Here's another one where excuse me, I'm talking a lot, where I didn't have any pictures from the resources. So I just took a screenshot from the game and cropped Ayumi out of it, and no one's the wiser. It's the only image that's not high res, but I don't think anyone notices, except for me, of course. And then I pretty much edit the rest of the scene. Well, you can see my voiceover right there, and decided to use, pretty much it speaks for itself, but I'm going to show you the project file now. All right, welcome to my project file for Seisei Academy. So here's the YouTube cut. I also have a Patreon cut over here. So here's the Patreon cut. The main differences is just kind of like the blood. And it's not censoring the language. So this is the Patreon version. And then if you go over here, here we have the YouTube version. So I also have like make these cute little like boop. YouTube version, Patreon version, YouTube version, Patreon version. We're going to take a look at the YouTube version. So pretty much here we have the intro, and you could see, oh, I wonder what this is right here. Oh yeah, that was the name tag. I couldn't place the name tag. I was like, okay, all you get in the beginning is the Koido. So something cool I wanted to show you again here. It's like if we isolate, well, we could put single. If we isolate all these, with this, you could see the audio is coming from back left to center. You see that? So that's pretty cool. So I do that with the audio. Same thing with these footsteps. Let's listen to that. You could hear like she's running to the back right. So I do that a lot. And then we go into the first scene where pretty much, remember, I animated that in After Effects. I added an adjustment layer. Nope. Adjustment layer for the edges because she's kind of like, you know, not all there and it keeps flashing. So I just did that by adding a color effect, and it's like that. I also have a preset for this to shake. It's right over here. You just look up handheld. I got these from Motion Array, and then you just pop, put them in. So that's how I did that. Okay, here's Mary's wonderful voice acting. Yeah, here we have another sensor for YouTube. It's killed them all. Zoom out. Again, here we have like a little template that I use where it's like it zooms out. It stays here for a beat and then it zooms to the right. And then once it's done, I just copy paste that one because this one's a standstill. And this one's from After Effects. This one, I literally just have a template that I made where it's just zooming in. I didn't want to animate it. It's just a zoom in. It's very easy. I added the location on the bottom left. And so you'll see these towers, and this is pretty much like the chapter. So it's Koito, Ryoko, Asuka, Yuzuha, Sasha, and so on. And these chapter breaks really help me get motivated. It's like, okay, I just have to work on this little piece. and then we're done. And I was like, okay, we have to work on this piece, and then we keep going. So I pretty much like cutting my videos into chapters. Like, for example, the iceberg video that I made, both of them, they're cut into layer 1, layer 2. So it's like, okay, from layer 1 to layer 2, like I have to do that. So it's really, it helps me keep track and it helps me stay motivated. Here we have the second scene. Again, I wanted to do the thing where it starts off with a character and then how they died, and then that's it with that character, right? We zoom back in. Now we're Ryoko. You could see the student ID, and with Ryoko, and then she dies because she found a note with little sister's remains and starved to death mourning. And then here's where I start the real video, because the first minute has to, you know, grab people's attentions, specifically the first 3 seconds. Let's see if it grabs your attention. I'd say that's pretty intriguing. It's kind of funny that it starts off with a jump scare. So now we have the actual video starting pretty much after a minute. And here we explain that Koito and Ryoko are sisters and the lore. And then we see a scene from what I'm telling you. So I'm supporting evidence, right? So we look at the scene. It's Koito. Yay, I could use her ID because I wasn't planning on using it, but I used it. And here we have the note that she writes to her friends because they're going to perform the ritual. It zooms out, and then I pretty much, this is a nested layer, and it has like all the sprites. I didn't have it for the teachers, so I just put them there as like the names. That's what I'll probably keep doing for the rest of the videos, because I don't think I'm going to have a lot of sprites to work with besides this one. But it's, thank you, Tomato Soup, for giving me these sprites. It's really thoughtful. So it explains the lore again, and then we zoom in. Asuka. Now it's a scene with Asuka, so now we're introducing a new character. Asuka. Let's see what she has to say. Everyone's fine. And then it zooms out, explains it. Animated that right here. I say anime, but it's kind of like in between frames where, if you're a video editor, you know. But pretty much from here to here, something happens, and that's for Yuzuha. So from right here to right here, she moves. From right there to right there, she moves down, and from right there, she fades out. So I pretty much did that a bunch of times so I could have them move around and stuff. So it looks neat, and then I pretty much cut my work in half, the view in half by the beautiful chalkboard. Again, if you're a video editor, you'll know Control S. You got to save that all the time. So pretty much it's a scene. We pop out, we explain it, and then we go back to supporting evidence. And then I thought it was really brilliant because we're not just telling people what happened, we're showing them too. And this is where, oh, she gets hit. And I added these shakes with another, I think it was just handheld. Yeah, I put the handheld one right there. So that way it like boom, it's a boom. And then another, and then it shows how she died. And pretty much it's that over and over. So we're going to go on to the next. This one's the YouTube cut, and I pretty much just, where is it? Black and white. I just black and white for YouTube. There we go. Easy fix. So now Yuzuha, you see her name tag, and we're explaining what happened, and animated that Koito and some of her friends saw her. So that's the thing animated without the motions in the chalkboard. And then pretty much we do the effects. There we go. And then that's Yuzuha's chapter, Yuzuha. And then now Sasha. Remember I made this in Photoshop because it wasn't there before. But now we have it because I did it in Photoshop. And then again, we talk about Sasha, and then we show supporting evidence because we found a note in the game. And death. And then new character, Ayana. Same thing. I had to edit that photo. This one was hard. Oh no, this is just the animation. Pretty much, they walk, dies, she walks away. And then we do effects on this nested layer, which a nest is pretty much a timeline within a timeline. Ooh, so it looks nice. And then we have our fancy subscribe button for other YouTube, because on the Patreon one, it doesn't show subscribe, but this one it does, because I thought it was perfect right
Most likely candidate for this.
And I hear that, also this blue thing is a bug. Like when I export it, it was fine, so whatever. But, you know, you got to remind people to subscribe. Please subscribe. Ayana, here's Ayana's chapter. Kazunari. smaller characters, because you got to start with the good stuff, and whatever is left at the end is just for people who actually stayed. And I hope by the second minute, or at least up to here, I earned them, or you guys, sorry, I earned you guys watching the rest of the video, where it kind of dies down and it's more just for like informational sake, because there's not much lore or interesting things that happen with these characters. So this first part is for me to be like, hey, let me earn your view, and then so we can lead on to the rest of the video. And then this is like the faculty. I just did that by cross-fading images from Book of Shadows. Here's the YouTube version, and then the Patreon version. Another YouTube version / Patreon version. And then Tomoyuki. Last one, Wander. And Masuji, and then the beautiful credits. Asuka and Ryoko by Rose Gold V. Voice acting, Rose Gold voice acting. Goito and Sasha by Mary. Sprites by Tomato Soup. Music by Bad Ritual. And then written, directed, edited by me. And I'm actually really proud of it. And I like editing this thing where it's like, dude, you could have seen this video like a long time ago on Patreon for free. Just like this video. And yeah, that's pretty much the timeline. And it took, I want to say, at least 18 hours to do this almost 5-minute video, and it was worth it. I learned a lot, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed these behind the scenes videos that I'm gonna start making. And that's it.